You know, however much society might develop, the concept of family still remains very important to us. It matters a lot what our children think about us. And it matters a lot how far our parents understand us. In ancient Britain, it was no different. There was an old king called Lear, and he had 3 daughters. Goneril, married to the Duke of Albany. Regan, married to the Duke of Cornwall. And Cordelia, who was still unmarried. The old king Lear wanted to divide his kingdom between his 3 daughters and live his remaining days as a guest in their courts. He asked his daughters to tell him what they think about him. Goneril and Regan make exaggerated public declarations of love, but Cordelia refuses to do so. The angry king also refuses to give Cordelia her share of the kingdom. He divides his kingdom between his 2 eldest daughters. However, Cordelia is married without dowry by the King of France, and she goes to live in France. Afterwards, King Lear goes to visit Goneril and Regan, and he has bitter experiences in the courts of his eldest daughters. He is also angry with his faithful friend and nobleman, the Earl of Kent, because Kent supported Cordelia. The old king now is distressed and goes mad. He goes out into the storm in a heath where he encounters what it means to be human. His friend Kent in disguise is there with him. So is his faithful fool. Meanwhile, they meet a mad beggar on the heath. He calls himself Tom o' Bedlam. This Tom o' Bedlam is actually a nobleman in disguise. He is Edgar, the son of the Earl of Gloucester. Like King Lear, the Earl of Gloucester also could not understand his son Edgar properly. Edgar was his loyal son actually. But because of the evil plotting of Gloucester's illegitimate son Edmund, Gloucester became angry with Edgar and got separated from him. At this time, Goneril, Regan's husband Cornwall, and Gloucester's son Edgar, they hear that the French army is coming to England. They are going to land in Dover. And Cordelia is with them. And Gloucester knew about the French army. He did not warn them. So they blind Gloucester. Now Gloucester is blind. King Lear is metaphorically blind because he could not understand Cordelia. Gloucester is metaphorically as well as literally blind. Gloucester is now in the storm along with mad Lear. There, Gloucester is taken care of by none other than his own son Edgar in disguise. Edgar cares for his father until his death. Lear now meets Cordelia, and Lear is cured of his madness. However, the French army loses the battle, and Lear and Cordelia are arrested. Edmund at this time is a lover of Goneril and Regan, and he's become very powerful. Edmund orders that Cordelia and King Lear should be put to death. However, Edmund is met by Edgar in a single combat, and Edmund is defeated. He makes a dying confession. He does not want to kill Cordelia now, but too late, because Cordelia is already put to death. And what happens at the end? King Lear is going mad once again. He brings Cordelia's dead body onto the stage, and he cradles the dead body like a baby. And he thinks that Cordelia is not dead. She is still alive. Insisting that Cordelia is still alive, King Lear dies on stage. But in his last days, King Lear had become a much better human being. He had lost all the power of kingship, and he had discovered common humanity. That is what makes King Lear one of the greatest tragedies of William Shakespeare. I hope you liked this video.